What's up, everybody? Pretty cool episode today. This is Hannah Davis again, Hannah Davis 2.0. If you remember last year, I think Hannah and I tried an episode remotely. She was the first remote episode I tried to do, and it was an epic fail. A lot of audio issues, a lot of echo, a lot of bad. A lot of people said they quit listening, and I don't know. I think there's actually people that just never recovered from that. Like they never came back to the show after that episode again. So, which is, I get it. But I'm appreciative of the fail. It's helped me learn a lot. Obviously we fixed it. Hannah and I just did an hour, same type of deal, remote. The audio issue we did have is because she lives in the sticks. And so every now and then her feed would break up just a little bit, so it would sound like a cell phone call that maybe you were going down a hill and you could hear every other word for just a second or two, and then bam, she's back. So, but other than that, no echo, no problems. She did drop towards the tail end of the episode, and so we just got her back, and I spliced those two together on the editing thing, so you shouldn't even notice. I may put the little helicopter sound effect of it flying away in between the two just to bridge some space, but that should edit just fine. Other than that, she just completed her second Half-Ironman in June, and last year I really wanted to drill down and talk to her about how she managed her public safety job, her roles and responsibilities as a wife and a mother, and the heavy training load while she prepared for that. But I think this episode actually was better. I think the conversation was better. She'd learned a lot, obviously, because she just completed Half-Ironman number 2. Where on the first Ironman, she admittedly says, she was just flying by the seat of her pants, trying to figure shit out, just like we all do. Admirably so, like we all do. But she learned a few things. Looking to improve a time and to meet a time goal, and kind of what she's doing to do that. So really good episode. She's a cool girl. She's been around a long time. She's been in public safety a long time. I've known her for a long time. She's a hard worker. She's a good employee. She's dedicated to her profession. Just all around a good person. So that being said, we'll get on with it. If I can ask you to, I know that I usually put this on the end, but I think I got to put it on the front. Whatever you listen to this on, whatever platform you listen to it on, if there's a way to rate the show, please do it. If there's a way to subscribe to the show, please do it. If there's a way to interact with the show in any way on the platform that you listen to it on, please do it. Not for my benefit, not for my ego, not for any sort of dopamine hit, but because it just puts the show higher on the list. So if people are searching for something to listen to on Apple Podcasts or Spotify, and they punch in, let's say, public safety podcasts or whatever, or self-improvement podcasts in public safety or whatever, the show that I do will be towards the top. So the more people that you interact, the easier it is for people to find the show on the platform. Now, does it generate more subscriptions and listens? Absolutely, because that's what we're after. But there's not enough that I'm gonna monetarily gain anything from this. I'm just looking for people that are trying to find the show, for them to find it easier so that they can listen and interact. And who knows, maybe I'll get some connections for more guests and ideas to do the show. So that's what we're after. The goal is to do 100 episodes. We're only we haven't even hit 60 yet. So my goal is to at least get 100 episodes before we try to figure out what direction the show's going. So if you can subscribe, ring a bell, click a thumbs up, put in a comment, whatever it is it asks you to do, please do it. And that just helps the show in the long run. Outside of that, listen up to Hannah Davis. She's pretty cool. She's got some good advice, and she talks a lot. She talks a lot about some smart stuff. So hope you like it. Work hard, be kind. Bye. Fixed it. I just I think I just got better.
Oh,
You know what I mean?
that's
Like Joel
yeah.
Joel Joel and I did a thing, and I did it on my phone. I think when you use a laptop, you got to somehow cut the feed from your voice back into the computer somehow, and I think that has to do with headphones.
Oh, I see.
But I mean, you and I do Teams meetings all the time on our phones, right? And I never hear any sort of feedback on that. So I guess
Yeah.
why wouldn't this work?
Mm. Right? I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. But it already sound. Oh, you just disappeared.
Oh, sorry. I was gonna turn my
Oh,
Wi-Fi off so that it's
yeah. You
not
don't need to.
competing with
When this
anything else.
publishes, there's no video that I put out. It's just you and I can see each other, but I don't pay for the super dickhead version, so that when I publish it, it only publishes the audio, so it doesn't matter what video we record. It's not gonna publish that if you're
Right.
worried about that kind of stuff. What have you been doing today?
I had to drop Porter off at VBS, go swim, go get him, go run some errands, and then come back and do this. So, just the
You
things.
just mom stuff. Are you
Pretty
swimming? What are you
much.
swimming for?
I have another half Ironman in September.
Goodness.
Yeah.
We'll get to that. We'll get to that in a second, which I think is going to be the majority of this thing.
Okay.
Uh, VBS. My youngest kid was there all week too. They do a heck of a job at that thing. Has Porter ever been there?
Yes. So this is his third year going there.
Yeah, I bet it's
Uh,
just mass chaos getting somebody out of that parking lot.
yeah. Well, and
Yeah.
so does she go to West Des Moines or Grimes?
Oh, great question. West Des Moines.
Oh, so we go to Grimes and it's still a nightmare. There's way
Interesting.
too there's way too many things. Too many people, too much traffic. I don't like it.
Wasn't that church at one time? And you'll have to forgive me and my listeners too for the ones that go to Hope. Didn't that church used to be like in a strip mall
Maybe, I don't know.
back in the day? Maybe so. It's a new standalone building now, or it's a standalone building now. I've only been to
Yes.
Hope in West Des Moines, so
Yeah,
I don't know.
I think it was. It was a lot
But it's not now,
smaller.
obviously. If it's going to house
No.
yeah, if it's going to
Yeah,
house a VBS, there's no way it is right now.
no. Yeah, so we had
Uh,
to get the autographs from the people that were doing the things as well, and, you know,
yeah, sure, sure,
stand in
sure.
the lines and all
No,
that
I'm.
stuff.
Do you ever do the Taste of Hope thing? Have you ever done that?
We've done the 5K for that, but not come back for the rest of that because it's too many people for me. So
It's a lot. It's a lot. Like, you've
it's a
been
lot.
there. It's a lot. Like it's basically the state fair in the church parking lot. And they do a great job though of
Yeah,
shepherding people around and making sure that everybody's got stuff to do, and it doesn't feel that. I mean, the church in general does a great job with all that stuff. Anytime they
right.
throw a party, it's to the nth degree, right? Like they do it right.
Oh yeah,
Um, so you went swimming. Let's get back to the first of all,
yeah,
we're already way ahead of the last episode. I had never listened to our last episode, but I heard really bad things about it.
yeah. It's terrible.
Yeah, so I'm
Yeah,
glad that we got it figured out, so you could get back on it and share your story, because
yeah.
I think it's important. And Lindsay was asking me a bunch of questions about you today, and I was like, I don't really know, which is sad because I've known you for 17 years or so, and I don't really feel like I know you.
No, it's all
Uh,
good. It's all good.
when did you get into the triathlons? Like when did that become
Um,
a thing?
so Scott and I got into it probably like right before we got married. So that
Which is how long
was
ago now?
12 years ago.
Yeah,
So yeah, we like obviously when we first started dating, we were working out together and doing 5Ks and half marathons and stuff like that. And then we kind of just with doing EMS stuff for the Hy-Vee tries,
yeah,
when that was a thing, kind of got us both interested in doing that. And then we were able to like I started working in Dallas County and Lee was there and he was able to help us get our bikes since he had the bike store up in Perry.
Yeah.
So that's just kind of how it went. It kind of obviously dropped off when he started having seizures and we had a kid. But
Yeah.
now it's kind of through drinking a few beers with a friend and getting talked into this Half-Ironman, it's kind of come back to be a thing.
So the irons, do you know how many, do you know your total? Do you know how many tries you've done since in the last 12 years?
I would say 5 or 6, not many, but not many.
And are they
And
full tries? Are they sprint tries? Are they, so the Ironman thing is like, have you ever done a full Ironman?
no.
So the Ironmans that you're doing are half Ironmans, correct?
Yes. Yeah.
So that's like a mile swim,
It's
60-mile bike.
1.2 mile swim, 56-mile bike, and a half marathon. So 13.1 miles.
13.1 miles. And you've done at
I've
least
done
consecutive years of that, right?
I've done 2 of those. Yeah.
Last year, this year.
Yep.
But do you know how, like, and then so the other triathlons have been full triathlons or have they been sprint tries?
They've been sprint and an Olympic. And
An
so and
Olympic
there's
triathlon is like a full length one.
yeah. Mhm.
Do you know this? Do you know the stats on that? Like,
Uh
how's that different than a how is it different than a half Ironman?
it's
I'm gonna Google
less.
it. So an Olympic
Um
triathlon, what they would do in the Olympics is less than a half triathlon, than a half Ironman.
yeah.
I'm gonna do it. How long is a Olympic triathlon? All right, so let's talk about. So last year you did the half Ironman. That's the farthest you've done,
Yep.
the most volume you've done,
Yep.
and you were okay with your performance. You were happy
Uh
with it, not happy with it.
last year my goal was just to finish and yeah, I was fine with what I did last year.
How were your goals different this year?
I wanted to be under 7 hours this year and I did not accomplish that. I actually did worse than I did last year. So I was a little pissed about that.
Well, let's talk about that for a second. So, an Olympic triathlon is a 0.93 mile swim, 24.8 mile bike, and a 6.2 mile run.
Mhm.
That seems a little. That seems a little easy for a guy like you.
I mean, maybe now it probably is. At the time when I was first starting into it, it was definitely not. Um, just because I didn't know really what I was doing and I didn't have the stamina that I have now, but
Do you have a coach?
I do now, which
Did you have
I've
one for this triathlon or after this second? When was
yeah.
this half Ironman that you just did? Was in June?
Uh, it was in June, yeah.
And you had a coach for that, or you got a coach after that?
I got a coach after that,
So what was your
which
what's your goal with the coach? Are you already getting at like training for the next half Ironman next year, or are you just trying to improve your triathlon efficiency?
I'm training for the half Ironman in September in Madison, Wisconsin right now with her.
Oh,
And my goal with her is to obviously finish under 7 hours and to like I feel like I have a good base, but I don't
yeah.
feel like I am able to elevate myself from there because I just there's so much information and I'm not sure how to weed through it in a timely manner to get be efficient with my training for this next one.
So so I don't have a script and I don't have a list of questions, but I obviously want to just have a conversation about how you train for these things, being in EMS and being a mom and being a wife and I want to we'll get to your like normal routine day in a second and how you feel your body and how you recover and all that kind of stuff.
Uh-huh.
But like what is your Do you think there's just because Malcolm and I used to talk about this a lot too. Like you're only going to be so good at so many things. Like the amount of effort it would take for me to decrease my 5K time is probably more work than I'd be willing to do just for a few minutes, right? Do you think that the coach thing is gonna pay off dividends as far as your like what information are you trying to sort through? Like but just how to train in general or how to transition better, how to be smoother? Are you know what I mean? Like what is your
Um, so, um, I feel like she is going to be able to help me meet my goal of finishing under 7 hours. As far as anything more than that, I'm not looking for. Like, I'm not looking to go professional, like be uh be winning medals and all that stuff. Like I just want to um finish under 7 hours. And so
where's the 7 hours come from? What's the significance of 7 hours?
um I feel well, I was so close to it last year that I felt like I could easily shave off like 8 minutes. And when I didn't, and like, so like my training plan when I first did it was someone who was completely like new to triathlon, like couch to 5K sort of thing.
Sure.
It was like just to make you finish. And I was like, okay, well, that sounds good. So I finished. And then my next training plan was more intense. Um, and I felt like I should get a better result than what I did. And when I didn't, then obviously that pissed me off to go find a coach because
Yeah.
clearly there was something that I wasn't doing
Yeah.
efficiently enough, I guess. Um,
Yeah, I know what
so
you
yeah.
mean. And so this lady that you've got like specializes, she has athletes that she trains for these things.
Yes, she does. So I did a Google search one night at work because I was just annoyed, and a few different places popped up that I had heard of before, like when we were first doing the tries. And this lady actually knows Scott and has worked with Scott before
Oh, nice.
previously. And so
Mm.
I talked to the owner of the company, and then I talked to her as well, just to kind of get in it, let her know what I wanted to accomplish and then what she could offer me. And so, yeah, we just made the deal, and here we
It
are.
worked out. She's
Yeah,
she can she's confident that your goals are realistic and that you can
absolutely.
achieve them, right? Like
Yeah.
she's
Yep.
not she's not promising you the world and then she's not going to overpromise and underdeliver.
No. No.
Um how much time so does she do your nutrition and your training and your recovery or is she just responsible for training?
Um, she does a majority of my training. When I have questions about nutrition, she guides me in the directions that I need to go. Um, and so like when I was doing it on my own, I would just when I'd have questions about it, I really only had one resource and the internet. And so to just weed through all that stuff on the internet, I felt like I didn't have the time, nor did I want to put the effort into that. And so that's why I kind of came to her
Yeah, I
and I
get it.
said, I need someone to help me weed through this stuff and who has trained different types of athletes and can help. This is what she's seen results from a majority of her athletes. And so I guess
Does
that's
it
what she's
does
helped me do.
does geographical location like is she's a like a central Iowa person? Like do you think
Yeah.
geographical location makes a difference as far as training volume, training type, uh your effect on times versus dry air versus humid air or flat
Um,
terrain versus does
right.
any of that do you think any of that like your 8 minute thing that you missed it by those little things would add up, right? Like if you had an unseasonable windy day, or maybe the air was a little thicker, or does that play
I
into it at
think,
all?
yeah. And honestly, like, the day really shouldn't have had that big of an effect on me because it wasn't hot. There was some wind, um, but it was overcast and it was rainy, and so there's no reason that uh none of those things really should have played that big of an effect on my times.
Yeah.
So
It's interesting that you say, like, I'm the same way. Like, if I'm interested in something, I will research it on my own and I will go through all that information on my own and try to sort through it. Right. And CrossFit was no different when I started that. Like, I was watching videos and I was reading articles and I did everything but ask somebody else. Basically, like,
Mhm.
ask another human, hey, what's your hack for double unders? I would just
Right.
go in and do double unders until I was tired of whipping myself or my knees hurt. And ultimately, you triggered it and you got it right, but you don't know what you don't know. Um,
Right.
Same thing when I started training for CrossFit competitions. I was so wrong in how I trained because I grew up in the, Rocky Balboa era, right? So
Yeah.
I would just put on the Rocky Four soundtrack and I would train for hours. But I would train it for hours at a steady heart rate, like almost zone 2, maybe a little higher,
Yeah.
because my theory was I'm just going to outwork you.
Right.
Well, here's what CrossFit competitions in Central Iowa don't do. They don't do any sort of evolution longer than 8 minutes. And
Right.
so, because you can get more workouts done, you can get more people through the workouts in less time, right? So these gyms are interested in making money. So if 50 people sign up, okay, so your heat is going to be a heat of 8 people. We're going to do an 8-minute workout. And then heat 2
Mhm.
is going to go for the same 8 minutes. And so we're going to get 4 workouts done in 6 hours and we're going to crown a champion.
Yeah.
Well, I never worked out that way. I worked out for, like, I would just work out for hours at a sustained heart rate. And then once I got into these 8-minute burners, I could not function
Yeah.
with my heart rate at 180.
Right.
And it was a total fail. And
Mhm.
so, but maybe if I would have just asked some questions, right? But I learned a valuable lesson and I didn't train like that ever again, right? So I assume your experience was about the same when you started training for your triathlons and you didn't get the result you wanted. You saw something, some sort of deficiency that you had to go further in. I would even go further now and say, have you even consulted? And I'm a big fan of this, Chat GPT, not
You
as
know
a
what?
replacement for your coach, not as a
Right.
replacement for your coach, but as a valuable resource because I have yet to ask it anything that it has been unable to give me the answer to.
Um, I I haven't, and it was just only this week that someone suggested asking it to make your workouts, and I was like, "Oh, I never really thought of that."
It'll
I have
it'll
not
do it.
asked it. I know, and that's what's so crazy.
Like
Yeah.
we were sitting around the office one day and my partner was like, I've got a pair of dumbbells and I got a sandbag and I've got, this. What can I do in 30 minutes? And I just whipped up. I said, Chat GPT, make me a 3-day a week CrossFit program with a pair of dumbbells and a sandbag and body weight movements, and make it for 6 weeks. And it
Yeah.
literally in 45 seconds spit out a whole plan.
That's so crazy. That's crazy.
And Hannah, I'm not even joking. It wasn't generic at all. It was very specific. And
Uh-huh.
you can, and I said for a woman, like, let's just
Yeah.
say, right, because it managed the weights. You can put in your grocery list and say, hey, these are my favorite foods. Give me a week. I'm training for a try this week. I'm 6 weeks out. Here's what I like to eat. Give me a nutrition plan for this week to work around my training, and it'll do it
Sure.
in less
Yeah.
than a minute.
That's crazy.
Isn't that nuts?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
so my family gives me a lot of shit sometimes because I consult Chat GPT a lot, and I use the Gemini version because I'm on an island and I have an Android. But I just call it that
Yes.
as a general term. But I have yet to ask it anything that it hasn't given me the answer to. Now, it doesn't replace obviously experience. So
Right.
your coach having experience in Iowa in August in humid weather obviously is going to have much more valuable information than that. I even asked it, uh, hey, I'm 5 weeks post-op. What are my milestones I should be at right now? And it spit out a whole program for me.
No kidding.
Oh yeah, listen. I'm telling you, there's for free, and all of this,
I
Hannah,
know.
all of this information is for free.
Right?
And so, yeah, I don't know. We used to have to find websites like Malcolm and I use CrossFit Endurance a lot. I don't even know if that's a website still around or not, but
I mean, I use that too.
is it
So
still
yeah,
around?
I don't know, but I used it back in the day.
Yeah, right. Because that had swim, run, and bike workouts and was
Yeah,
catered toward triathlon things. And you would get a workout, for the day, and you'd be like, I'm not interested in doing this today. And you just go
right.
back a few days until you find one that fit your schedule
Yep.
or whatever. So let's start talking about that. Let's start talking about how far out from an event do you start training?
Um, usually it's 18 weeks.
And it doesn't matter if it's a half Ironman or a regular.
No, a half Ironman is usually 18 weeks. Like a half marathon, I don't know, maybe 12 weeks. I don't know. I'm usually doing other stuff and just kind of throw that half in here and there when I can fit it into a training schedule. So I'm training for something else as well, as doing like a half Ironman. So it's like or I'm sorry, like throwing in the half marathon so that I can do a race that's fully supported and I don't have to worry about my bringing water, nutrition,
Yeah,
anything
sure.
like that.
So what's your week look like? So when's the August one? Or the one in Wisconsin?
The it's 7 weeks from tomorrow, so whatever date that is.
Okay, so 7 weeks. So break down what's your week look like right now when you're training for this event?
Uh,
What's your week look like?
it's usually 6 days a week, um, and it's at least 4 of those days are 2 workouts. So swim, bike run, swim run, that sort of thing, and they're uh a minimum of an hour and a half to 3.5 hours for a
And
workout.
that's 4 days a week.
Though, yeah, uh, yeah, it's usually 4 days. I'll have 2 workouts a day, and
Well,
then
listen,
yeah,
there's only 7 days in a week, obviously, and how many of those do you work?
uh, it depends on the week, but usually 3 or 4 of those.
So obviously, there's days. Okay, so if you're on a 12-day shift, that's probably not a training day, correct?
Um, tries not to be, but there's sometimes where, like, on Monday, I was 12 hours in Clive and I still had to do a run. So I tried to do it at work and obviously got called out because why not? So then I had
Yeah,
to come
sure, for
home.
sure.
I had to come home after work, do that 45-minute run for that day, and then finish everything else to go to work the next day.
So you're still getting your work in. You're not letting the job beat you, and you're not letting distraction beat you. Like you're still getting the work in,
Oh,
right?
yeah. Yep.
Uh okay, so that's your part-time job,
Yeah.
right?
Yep.
So now you still have 36 hours in the week to give to your full-time job.
Yep.
One of those being a 24 and one of those being a random 12 day or
Yep.
night shift. What are you doing on the day of the 24?
That is usually a rest day or like an easy ride.
Yeah. And that are you
Yeah.
like an easy ride at work, like
Yeah.
like a
Yep.
Peloton thing?
Yeah, so
Um,
she now has my all my power and stuff like that for my Peloton, so she's making it so that I can do some of the rides on the Peloton while I'm at work.
really?
Yeah.
Do you feel like it's not to digress from the weekly plan, but do you feel like that is an adequate use of like do you feel it's beneficial the Peloton? Like I know that it's not like you can put your triathlon bike on a comp trainer, right? Like on a trainer
Yep.
thing that gives you a bunch of data. Do you feel like the Peloton thing is a comparable? or is it just movement for the sake of movement? Or do you think that it's beneficial training? Like, do you get conditioning from it?
Honestly, I feel like because like I feel like I don't get enough resistance on my trainer. So I feel like the Peloton gives me more training than I can get on the trainer. And that's just
Yeah,
probably me not knowing what I'm doing with my trainer.
yeah, that's probably.
So
Well,
there's that.
listen, there's a lot of resources. Well, I can think of one resource to help you out on the trainer.
Yeah,
ChatGPT. All right, so
right
you're
there.
24 is an easy ride. Oh, what happened? So the day. So what happens the day after? Let's say you get your ass beat. And you're 24, but you've
Um,
kind of used your 24 as a rest day or as an easy ride thing, and you probably got some training coming up the day after, right?
yeah.
What's that look like?
It's usually leave, go swim for an hour, and then go do, like yesterday was go do a ride for an hour as well, a riding and a swim. And
After a long
so,
24-hour shift.
yeah.
What's the body feel like? What's the brain feel like? Like I can't for people that haven't done it before, like I don't know how to articulate to them how awful it feels. But
Yeah, it's not great. Uh, and a lot of it, I guess when I was doing it, training on my own, um, I was a little bit obviously more flexible with myself to like if I had a terrible shift, then I would kind of adjust some things so maybe I could come home, take a nap, and do some
yeah.
things in the afternoon. But now that I have this coach, I feel like I have to hold myself more to be more accountable. And so it's a lot of you don't want to do this, but you're going to do it anyway, so just shut up and go do it.
But at that point it's got to be more like I'm trying to think of the physical benefit of doing it. Like did I really do myself any good by trying to condition my body for an event while it was already fatigued, right? Like is that going to pay off
Yeah.
in the end of it? Or did I just condition my brain to do something that my body really doesn't want to do? So did I get it? And did I do it just to cross it off the mental checklist? Because we've all done, like I've done Murph after a night shift. I've been up for 24 hours and done Murph, and it was awful. Like but after you do it, you're like, man, I just did something really goddamn hard. And I made my brain tell my body to do some shit that I didn't want to do. And during it sucked, and I don't know that I got any better physically for it, right? Like I don't know that I improved my fitness. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Yeah.
So are we just throwing days? Are we just throwing days against the wall and hoping it sticks just by doing it, or are we like is it going to benefit our fitness in some way from doing these types of training when we're already sleep deprived and behind the eight ball?
Uh, I don't know about if I'm physically doing my body any good, but I feel like it's all a mental game. A
Yeah,
lot of it is a mental game for me, and uh, being out on a course for 7 hours
yeah.
or getting to the run where I know it's going to take me 2+ hours and I'm already smoked, and it's just I don't. A lot of it is a big mental game for me. So if I can continue to do that on my training days when I'm tired and don't wanna do it, I feel like I at least
Maybe if you
hopefully I'm
feel fresh, maybe it's you don't know. I don't think a lot of us know how good we could feel, right?
Oh, yeah.
If we didn't have broken sleep cycles all the time. So you always
That's
wonder like even for me, I haven't because of, the surgery, I've been home for 5 weeks,
uh-huh.
and I have not slept through the night in 5 weeks.
Really?
Right. Because of the discomfort, the pain,
Oh,
and I'm
sure.
still right. So I'm still doing things like I normally would do on a good night's sleep. And I don't know, I'm kind of getting to like, you just don't know how good we feel in this job because it seems like we're always a little behind.
Yeah.
But when you wake up from a 24 and you're like, man, I got 2 hours worth of training to do, and you kind of slug through it. It kind of feels like you're walking through mud basically, and your body's real slow, and you don't really feel like you're doing anything. Does it translate after 2 or 3 good nights of sleep, and then you wake up and you're like, man, I feel great. I'm going to go kill it today. Do you have days like that where maybe you've had 4 or 5 days off and you've had a chance to catch up and rest, and then all of a sudden you're out there doing it and you feel really good?
Um, I don't know.
That's a
I
no.
mean, I feel like I'm just constantly fatigued right now.
Oh,
And so that's just, I mean, I feel
let's
like
talk
that's
about
just
what. Because of training, because of nutrition, because of workload, because of family load, all of it. Yes. Like,
um yeah, yeah, probably all of it. I will definitely say like the nutrition part of it is a struggle for me. Um and so
because you're
I've
not
been
eating enough.
probably not.
Yeah.
Um yeah. I mean it's there's some days like where I'm starving, but then there's other days where I'm like, God, I don't feel like I want to eat at all or anything, but I know I need to, and I'm probably not getting enough to fuel what I need
Yeah.
to for the next day.
Do you have a normal, like, what's your normal day of eating? Is there a normal day of eating? I eat the same shit basically every day and
No,
basically at the
see,
same times.
I don't. I'm trying to get better about that by like meal prepping,
Yeah.
on Sundays and stuff like that to try and get into a better routine, but no, I'm terrible at it.
Really?
And I mean, there's some days where it's like I don't want to cook anything, so then I just have a bowl of cereal, which isn't
Sure.
helping a whole lot.
No, but cereal's carbs, man. So if you're doing it like,
Yeah.
uh, I've kind of opened my eyes a little bit. It's one of the, not that I haven't changed a lot of my thinking and perspective on nutrition and performance and health and wellness, because I think that it's an evolution of things. I've kind of lessened my grip on some of that stuff,
Mhm.
more so because I have high school athletes, and so obviously they feel themselves much differently than I do as a 49-year-old dude who basically has a hobby in fitness and
Yeah.
a job just like the rest of us in public safety, where we have weird hours and weird cravings, and you know. So I've kind of loosened my grip a little bit on some of that stuff. Um, but and I was a big keto, like I'm a big keto guy. Like I'm not an anti-carb guy.
Mhm.
I just feel better myself if I don't eat carbohydrates. I just
Yeah.
feel better. Like I don't hurt as much. I don't feel as inflamed. I feel like I recover better.
Yeah.
But I have high school athletes, and one of the big things that they push is carbs, 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 because you need gas in your tank. Like
Yeah.
the only way to put fuel in your body is to eat carbohydrates.
Yeah.
So because I cook a lot for them and I cook a lot for me, instead of making two different things, like we're just all kind of doing it together. So I've kind of opened myself up to more carbohydrates during the day, right? So not, and even something as simple as cereal that we demonize, and I know we demonize it in society now. We never used to, is because it's processed and because it's shitty and it's got food dyes in it and blah blah blah,
Yeah.
that it'll kill you, and that's just not true. Like if you need to go on a run and you need some gas in the tank, putting down a bowl of cereal isn't the worst thing you can do. Probably
Right.
the worst thing you can do is probably go run fasted,
Yeah.
if you're trying to perform well, if you're trying to hit a certain mark, right?
Yeah. Right.
Right. So the point of me saying this is I wouldn't beat yourself up over it, just because I mean you do what you got to do. Like,
Yeah.
and there's a lot of resources out there. I don't know if you've ever heard me talk about the nutritionists that I have my kids follow on Instagram, and they're like high school, college nutritionists.
Yeah, I started
Clearly,
following a couple of them.
that Kelsey gal, I like them both. That Kelsey gal is real smart, and she'll break it down into like sport specific, so track athletes or football athletes or baseball athletes or whatever. And, but for whatever differences each sport has, the similarities are the same, right? Like
Yeah.
you need carbs before you perform, and you need protein after you work out. Period. And then you
Yeah.
need to fuel your body in between. So do you take, and I don't know anything about those goo packets or whatever, but like when you go out on these 2-hour trainings, you're probably depleting yourself pretty quickly
Yeah.
of any glycogen. So how are you keeping that up during the training?
Um, I I do some of the goo packets, but you get real sick of those real quick. And
Yeah, I
so
can't imagine.
I am trying to switch over to Uncrustables right now.
Really?
Yeah,
Please tell
because
me grape.
yeah,
Grape?
great.
Yeah,
Yeah.
grape. That's the only
Oh, yeah.
one. That's the only one that matters. Grape.
Yeah. So like trying to do something a little bit that has more substance, like than goo, because they're just gross. And like
Yeah.
I don't know, like the amount that you have to do during a Half-Ironman is like, oh my God, if I have to see another one of these, they're like, I want to puke. So, yeah, throwing in some Uncrustables has helped, and I dig it.
I don't know how you feel about applesauce packets, but those
I
like
do
those.
those as well, but they're
Yeah.
not.
That.
It's not a whole lot,
Oh, it's
and
not.
so, well, no, and like I mean, like I'm taking in like 200 to 300 calories every hour, plus some carbs. And so, like, trying to find something that fits in all of that, that is easy to put in a pocket, in my back pocket to take out so that I can eat quick is just, it's hard.
Yeah. So how do you explain? Do you explain to us how you do that over a 7-hour race? Like, how do you? Where do you keep the fuel? How do you? How do you partition your food out? Like, how do you ration it through a race? I've
Yeah,
never really thought about it on that deal. Like, you're going to be out there for 7 hours. Obviously, when you're swimming, you're
I
not.
don't do anything on the swim.
There's no way
Like
you
I'll
could.
do, no, like I'll do electrolytes and a goo packet
Mm,
before, and like banana and stuff like that before I swim.
sure.
And then when I'm in transition, I try and do another goo packet. Um, this year I was going to do Uncrustables on the bike, but I forgot them. And so I
Oh
didn't
shit.
get them until my run. So
Uh,
I completely screwed that up. But like I had a whole bunch of goo packets on my race belt. They also have every water station, aid station. They have electrolytes, water, um, Gatorade, goo packets, fruit. So like they're all like handing that stuff out too. So I could really
oh, that's good.
probably go just with some water bottles and get most of the stuff that I need on the track or on the course. It's just
Yeah. Does any of that
knowing
stuff
what
upset your stomach? Like, do you get
it
the thought of
hasn't.
pounding some food and then like running? Just, I mean, I know it's all light food and it's all carbs and it's all quick digestive stuff, but does any of that stuff bother you? Like, is there stuff you can't have?
I haven't found it yet, but I also like train to make sure that I don't run into that on race day where it does upset my stomach.
Do you count calories?
No. No.
I think I knew the answer to that because you said you're self-admittedly not good at meal tracking, so you don't really know how much energy you need a day, right? Because you don't know how much calories you're burning and you don't know how much calories you're taking in, so you're doing this all by feel.
Yeah, kind of. Yeah. Which
Yeah.
is probably not what she wants me to do, but you
Well,
know.
I'm just trying to figure out. Like, I'm not an expert, but that 8 minutes you're trying to make up
Yeah.
very easily could come in the form of energy.
Oh, 1,000%.
You know
Yes.
what I mean? And not
Yeah.
necessarily just by running faster or by
Yeah.
biking faster, right? Like, it very much could come in the way of
No, if I
feeding them.
fueled properly, I should be able to cut time way down.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Well, I'm no nutritionist, but I know that AI does some great things, and there's too much information out there. I think, which is probably one of the down. Oh, speaking of which, I just punched up CrossFitEndurance.com, which used to be what we would do at the station before we'd work out, and it's not there anymore. So
No kidding. Well,
no
shoot.
kidding. Which is
Darn it.
really bad because I don't know if people know, but you shot your mouth off and challenged me to a triathlon next year. And
Yeah, I did.
so
That's right. And which
Yeah.
I accepted. We're going to do it.
Yeah,
It's happening.
I know. Uh-huh.
Which actually now I have 2 triathlons on the books for next year.
Oh, shoot.
Because this year I wanted to do the one in Corning, the same one that Malcolm did last year.
Yeah.
But as fate would have it, I opted to have my hip surgery first. And I really tried to talk to the guy about, listen, can we just do this thing in September, and that way I can run that triathlon in August? And he was pretty much adamant that was a really dumb idea. But you know what else they told me? They also told me that after my hip replacement, I would never run
Yeah.
again. And I
Oh.
said, that's what I said. I said, clearly, that's a
I mean,
suggestion.
you're jogging at softball, so yeah, take that.
Yeah, so take that. And so,
Yeah.
well, funny that you say that, because after they told me that, and I get it, like, they're trained to say it, right? Like, but after they told me that, like, I was annoyed, as you know, that I get when people tell me things that I'm not interested in hearing.
Mm-hmm.
Whether I'm right or not, it doesn't matter. So on the way home, I chat GPT'd, hey, has anybody ever ran a triathlon or a marathon after hip replacement? And you wouldn't believe, they're like, oh my God, yes, Jason, happens all the time. Matter of fact, some lady got double hip replacement and ran the Boston Marathon. And I was like, well, you don't say. So you can
Right?
do it.
Yeah.
Weird.
Weird.
So it's happening. I don't know. There's a lot of unknowns still, but I'm interested in making an effort.
Yeah.
Do you follow, or are you influenced by any other triathlon people, like big name people? Do you follow
Um.
anybody that does tries, or do you have like some sort of? And I say this because I just kind of found Nick Bear just a few weeks ago. Actually, he's got his own podcast, and he's basically an ultra runner. But he's
Yeah.
going to do the Arizona Ironman, I think, in November.
Okay.
And he's a dude that runs his own business, has a family. Like, he's not. I mean, he's handcuffed by obligation and time, just like the rest of us.
Yeah.
So I'm listening to him and trying to figure out, how he does it. I'm not going to train like him, obviously, because I think he's a specimen. I am not.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to finish 1 second ahead of you.
Oh,
But like,
that's good. You're not going to, but that's cute.
listen, to be determined.
Yeah.
It's going to come down to which one of us has more carbs, sister. That's all I can tell you.
Well,
Um,
yep, that's true. That's true.
but do you follow anybody? I know you have a coach, but like, are there people out there that I would call them influencers that do this on the regular, that you kind of draw things from, or get tips and tricks, or training from?
Um, there's a few. Honestly, they're from Australia.
Oh,
So yeah. Uh, but not a whole lot. Like, I don't know. I'm trying not to. I constantly be on Instagram, Facebook, and because I kind of give Scott a bunch of crap about that. So like trying to, when I'm home, be more present with the family and stuff like
yeah,
that. And
focus.
so, you know, I just I would like to be able to research that, but then I also feel like I'm doing other things. And so I don't
Yeah.
have the time ish.
What's
So,
the biggest challenge with? Oh, I would assume that's probably it, right? Like, you're just trying to spend. We all got the same 24 hours in the day. I totally understand that, but how we spend it, I think, is way different. And
yes.
what we give our time to is way different. Some people go all in on their hobby, and maybe during a certain season, and then others
Yeah.
are very adamant that we're going to give it. My hobby's my hobby. Like, I don't do this full time. I don't make money at it. I don't want it. So when it comes to family and faith and work and all that kind of stuff, that stuff comes first, obviously, right?
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
in order
that's
to do it,
definitely,
you have to have pretty good support at home. So Porter and
yes.
Scott are like, listen, you go do your thing.
Um, Yeah, it's a struggle at times just because, like this week I've worked 48 hours in 3 days. And so it's like, well, I haven't had any training, but I also haven't been home, but I also need to get something in. So,
Yeah.
um, so I've been kind of trying to keep uh Porter busy with camps and stuff all summer. So that gives me some free time to go do my training, which has definitely helped, but it's also a bit chaotic to try and get everything scheduled and planned correctly. So yeah, I mean, they're definitely understanding. And when I first wanted to start training for this, I sat them both down and said, this is what I'd like to do. It's going to be a huge time spent away from you guys, but I also like this is a goal of mine.
Yeah.
And so, um, I mean, Porter and I have a regular talk about um, doing things and accomplishing our goals and, trying to not let a whole lot of things get in the way of the goals that we want to accomplish. And so
Do what you
I
say you're
feel
going
like,
to do.
what's that?
Just do what you say you're going to do. I'm going to run a
Ex-
triathlon, so let's just do it. Right.
yeah. And so I feel like he's always watching. So I need to make sure that I'm always showing him that even though it's hard, you can still do it. And even though you're tired, you can still do it.
That's a big thing when you have kids. Kids watch.
Oh, yeah.
Like, they don't know. They don't listen for shit. None of them. Not one of them. But they do all notice, I think.
Yes.
So when dad's 2 weeks post-op from a hip replacement and he's out in the garage doing still getting his workout in, like, I know they see it. It would be one thing for me to say, hey, listen, kid, you really like it's the thing that I say all the time. I see it in travel ball, like the 300-pound dad yelling at his kid to hustle. Well,
Oh, yeah.
what
Right.
what did you right? Maybe there was a day where you hustled, man, but like, that's cheap. Those words are cheap.
Yes.
Showing your kid what hustle means or
Yes.
what grinding means is a bigger deal, and they may not emulate it now, but down the road they're going to be like, man, I remember my mom used to go for runs and she was up for 2 days straight and she did this triathlon thing. It was pretty cool. She was pretty badass, so I think I could probably do it too. That
Uh,
payoff comes.
well, funny you say that because he's actually started to do some triathlons as well.
Oh, nice.
So,
Good for that kid.
yes, he's we did a relay together, and it was really I did the whole thing and then he did the whole thing. And so now he's going to do his third one tomorrow. So,
Oh, no way. We're at.
in Waukee.
No way.
Yeah. So just, it's being able to, I guess, show him that I'm working out and that this is what you can do as well, and see, like, I don't know, the fun in it is also nice as well.
Yeah. And it's nice to have like somebody else, like a like-minded person in the house too. Right.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
That's the fun part. Eventually they get old and they kind of figure you don't know much anymore for a while. And then I'm experiencing that now. Like my older two are, I don't know. It's weird how seasons change. Right. And that we're doing less and less together, where before, like, man, when COVID was a thing, Kale and I'd work out in the garage every day, and his whole mission in life was to beat me in the workout, right? And he was
Oh, yeah.
what, 12 then, and now
Right.
he's 17, and he's in, I know, I mean, every time he gets up and leaves to go somewhere, I'm in the garage just, working my ass off, but he doesn't have any interest in stopping and
Yeah.
like, hey, Dad, let me whip
Yeah.
your ass here real quick. But the younger one, the 8-year-old, she sees me working out all the time, and every now and then she'll surprise me, and she'll come in the house and she'll be like, "Hey, man, can you come get my kettlebell down for me so I can get a workout in?" And I'd be like, "Yeah,
Ah, nice.
that's right, that's
Nice.
great." And my 14-year-old, she meal preps, does all of her stuff.
Hmm.
She's big into she understands it now, what it means to feel for performance, and she's a hustler like her mom. Like, she'll get up at 7 and she'll have softball, and then she'll go to her, she'll go work for a few hours, and then she'll go to dance practice for 5 hours, and then she'll go to strength and conditioning for 2 hours, and then the whole time she's got this cooler packed with all of her carbs and her proteins, right? And she'll
That's
figure out
amazing.
her day on it. It really is, and I know that we all should talk highly of our children, but to see her kind of get it to click, I'm like, that's because there's been people in the house that have shown her the way. It's not because we just yell at her and say, you need to eat carbs before you go to practice. Like, what does that even mean, Dad? Like, I don't understand it. But it's because people like you have put it in front of them and said, this is how you do it.
Right.
Knowing that you can pivot and change, it may not be the best fit right now. You may have to figure that out later, but it's kind of a big deal. And it's real rewarding too, certainly as a parent.
Right.
When you see that stuff.
Yeah.
What else? So we've talked about your training day. We've talked about your nutrition, which is a real short conversation because you really don't have any sort of
It's not
how
great.
to do it. You just kind of it's not great. You're just kind of going off feel. I get that. You're training when you don't want to because you're tired, and we all do that. Everybody that listens to this show, which we're all in the same boat, and I think it's important to know that your story, especially, like a triathlon, takes a lot of commitment. Like that's 3 basically different modalities into one race. So you have to be an efficient biker, and swimming around here is hard. Like I don't do you get your swimming at the, like Malcolm even said, training for a triathlon in Iowa is dumb because basically you're inside in January and February. You ride a stationary bike and you run on a treadmill. And then you go into an indoor pool and it's 30 below zero outside, but here we are doing this kind of thing. So it's certainly not without its challenges.
Oh yeah. Yeah. And half of the other metro is trying to train for the same race that you're training for in the 2 hours that pool is open with the 8 lanes that it has. So trying to get that in an efficient way is rough too, because
Do
there's
you
just
ever
not
go
a
to
lot
like
of
some open water? Do you ever go to like some open water places like Raccoon River Park?
Yes.
Yeah.
Not a ton, but yeah. It just
Yeah.
doesn't
I
really
just wondered what
accommodate to workouts that I have to do.
it doesn't.
Well, I mean, like my workouts, it would just be more of me having to pay attention to my watch because it's like do 6
Oh,
100, 100s and
yeah.
then whatever. So it's just a little
You
bit
don't have
harder to do.
your 25-meter swim marked out for you on the bottom of the pool.
I mean, they do at the pool. They don't out at Raccoon River Park, which
That's what
is
I'm
rude.
saying. That's the difference is you have to kind of
Yeah.
figure out maybe a time
Yeah.
domain versus a distance. But you can certainly take your bike out there and you can swim and then you can, bike around that bike trail and then park your bike and lock it up and then run around that trail again.
Yeah.
You could, I think that's, because I'm going to run into the same boat when I start training is I'm going to have to figure out, the swim part of it, which is going to be my weakness. I'll probably go to some open water stuff like that. And, I'll probably have to invest in a better watch, and I'll have to do a lot of things. I do have a bike and a trainer that I have access to, so that's crossed off the list. But first things first. I mean, I can't even run right now, so. But I can
That's
bike.
true.
I've been biking since day 2.
Oh, weird. So you're not
Yeah,
going to
I
give
just
us
got.
a bunch of. So you're going to use the Peloton at work
Huh?
again? You're going to use the
Probably not.
Peloton and.
No, I don't really care for that thing.
Oh yeah.
But here's what I did find out. Here's a pro tip: you don't need those stupid shoes to do it. I think that was my biggest problem. Those shoes are terrible. The clip-in
Well,
shoes.
what
Yeah,
what
you
do
don't need
you?
them to ride that thing. I did it in my. What?
Well, yeah, I know that, but you have a more efficient pedal if you have the shoes.
No.
Just
Listen,
saying.
I don't need efficiency when I'm in zone 2.
Okay. Well, you
Do you hear
have
me?
you have fun in zone 2, and I will
You're right.
still beat you by more than 1 second. So whatever. So there's
Yeah,
that.
I don't need efficiency in zone 2. I need hey dudes in zone 2. That's all I need at that place.
Okay. That sounds
I don't
good.
really care for that seat either.
Yeah, well, no,
All
they
right,
don't
what
get
else?
any better. I'm telling you that.
They don't, like, you can't buy a super dickhead cushion wide seat, maybe like a banana seat or something, because that seat is awful.
You can, but people will make fun of you.
Oh,
So,
wouldn't be the first time that's happened.
well, that's true. That's true.
All right, what else? What haven't we covered? We've covered. So, what do you do for recovery then? On your recovery days, on your days off, are you doing mobility? Are you doing foam rolling? Do you do tissue work? Do you do sauna? What do you do?
I try and do sauna when I can. That's getting to Clive and doing that because I've seen some things in the sauna at the Y. Not gonna sit in there anymore. Not gonna do it. No, it's gross.
I don't
Oh,
understand. I don't understand why people do that in public. Malcolm and I when we used to go to the Healthy Living Center and swim.
oh
We
gosh, yeah,
we'd sit in the hot tub for a second, maybe when we got done, and it was just the weirdest shit. Like, why? Why in
yep.
public do you not have britches on
Well, and
in the hot
sometimes,
tub? Like, what?
yeah, that's
Good.
gross. No, thank you.
Yeah, it's no more
So,
therapeutic if you have swim trunks on than not have swim trunks on. Like, I will never understand. So it's a big
yep,
turnoff. Where
yep,
do you guys have a sauna at your station in Clive, or where do you?
yeah, yeah, we do, and it's real
Shut
nice.
up, for real?
Yep, yeah, for real.
That's the second one I've heard of. I'm gonna go to Joaquin on
Yeah,
Friday and take a tour of their station, and they have a sauna too. Why do you think that is?
yeah. What?
Why do you think that is? What's with these public safety stations getting saunas? Like, do you sauna during your shift, or do you sauna at the end of your shift?
I mean, their big sell to it for the city was to sauna after a fire to get all the carcinogens, like sweat that all out. Um,
Yeah, I think you left
so
me.
and then they are big into
You got
fitness
disconnected.
and recovery and all that stuff. So that's why they got it. They have a cold bath as well.
All right. Well, it turns out we did run into technical difficulties. So what happened was Hannah's call got dropped, so the connection was lost. I resent her the link. She logged back in, and everything looked good on our end. So we continued the conversation about saunas and public safety stations, which I'll follow up with. But it turns out at the end of the conversation, when we got done, it looks like she closed the app before her track audio was able to upload. So my whole track uploaded. So if I look at the edits and I'm watching right now, there is video with it. It looks like I'm just talking to myself. Like it's a 4-minute video of me having a one-sided conversation. So it looks like I've lost my marbles and I'm just talking to me. So, I put in a help desk ticket to the people and we got a couple fixes, and it just turns out for that 4 minutes, it probably wasn't worth the juice, ain't worth the squeeze. So I'll sum it up. We were talking about saunas in public safety stations, which in me growing up in EMS was unheard of. And now I know of 2 stations in the metro that have saunas. And I was curious as to the why, if it was just more of an investment in your employees, which obviously it is. But the purpose of it is that fire stations, when you come back from a working fire, apparently there's some sort of evidence that if you sauna after that, then you can help get rid of the carcinogens and toxins and stuff that are inside your body through a sauna session. Makes complete sense. I have not heard of it, but doesn't mean it's not there. But makes complete sense. Now, that being said, there aren't a lot of working fires anymore. So, staff are able to use the sauna, on duty and off duty for personal health. And that adds to the fact that I've really seen a shift in that culture in the last 4 or 5 years in EMS and public safety, where there's a real big investment in your frontline workers, meaning we're providing, mental health resources. We're providing physical resources. Like you are getting time on duty to work out. You're getting access to saunas. You're getting access to good mattresses for sleep. You're getting access to good chairs for downtime. Like your administrations are really investing in the health and wellness of their frontline workers to prevent obvious burnout, fatigue, mistakes, errors, injuries, all that kind of stuff. So it's really good to see. And Hannah agreed that she's kind of seen a shift in that too in the last 4 or 5 years. So it's an exciting time. Plus, station jobs right now are paying great, paying a lot actually. It's really worth investigating these services that are really investing in their facilities and really investing in their chain of command and really investing in their frontline workers and their equipment. Certainly piqued my interest. I never thought I'd say that maybe I might get back on an ambulance again someday, but maybe I will. I mean, the tide is turned, and it's exciting. But as far as Hannah goes, I also let her know how much I appreciate her. Like, I've known Hannah for a long time, and I've said this, but I don't really know much about her. She's a very quiet person. She keeps to herself. She doesn't cause a lot of drama. She doesn't, you know what I'm saying? She just kind of does she's a good employee. She keeps her head down, does her job. And she does a good job at it. And she's a mom and she's a wife and she's a first responder and she does half-Ironmans and she does a lot of cool stuff and she's a good person. So I was really fortunate that we had time to connect and sit down and visit. And she's obviously got me in the triathlon game next year where her and I are going to do one for sure. I've got 2 on the books. I'm sure she's got plenty more. But she's going to go up to Wisconsin here in another month and do another Half-Ironman. She's going to come back after that and let us know how she did and how her training was different. And maybe let's see how if she meets that sub 7-hour goal and if the coach investment was worth it and if she honed in her nutrition, and all that kind of stuff. So I'm really looking forward to hearing, how she did with that. So that being said, we're going to wrap this up. We got a good solid 45 minutes with her, and we just lost that last 4 or 5 minutes, which I just filled up pretty much. So that's all we got for this week. Thanks everybody for listening. Work hard, be kind. Bye.
Hey guys, thanks again for listening to another episode of the Shift Change Podcast. I need to ask if you would leave a rating. I think that it helps people who are new to the podcast find it quicker. It doesn't do me any good, but it does help other people that are looking for the Shift Change Podcast on Spotify or Apple. It just comes up quicker the more ratings that you give it. Whether you give it a 2 or a 5, it doesn't make a difference. It just helps other people. If you need to get a hold of me, contact me via my email, the show email, which is talkshiftchange@gmail.com. Or you can message me on Instagram at talk.shiftchange. At talk.shiftchange on Instagram. As always, thanks for listening. I could not have imagined how well this podcast has been received. So, as always, I appreciate it. Work hard, be kind.